So, have you ever really stopped to think about how we get these huge, kind of alien AI brains to actually be, helpful? How do we take this chaotic machine that knows everything and turn it into something polite and useful? Well, we're going to dive right into that because the engineering behind it is honestly one of the most incredible stories in tech right now. And this quote right here, it just hits the nail on the head. A raw AI, mean, it's just swallowed the entire internet. It can spit back Shakespeare, it can break down quantum physics, it probably knows your grandma's secret cookie recipe. But here's the thing, it's got zero social skills, no idea what helpful even means, no filter. It's just this massive blob of knowledge with absolutely no direction. Okay, so here's the real problem for the engineers. The raw AI's only goal, its entire reason for being, is just to predict the next word. That's it. It's not trying to answer you. So if you ask it, say, what's the capital of France? It might just think, oh, we're playing a trivia game, and fire back with, what's the capital of Germany? Which is kind of brilliant, but also completely useless to us. And this is the perfect way to see the challenge, right? The whole goal is to get from that total chaos on the left to the calm, helpful assistant on the right. We have to literally rewire the AI's brain, changing its core mission from predict the next word to have a useful conversation. So how in the world do they pull that off? All right, so step one is all about the fundamentals. You gotta walk before you can run, right? You can't teach it complex social cues until you first teach it the absolute basics of a conversation. And to do that, engineers basically just give the AI a script. This whole process has a name, Supervised Fine-Tuning, or SFT for short. And here's a great way to think about it. Imagine the AI is this brilliant actor who's memorized every single play ever written, but they have no clue what part they're supposed to be playing tonight. SFT is like the director pulling them aside and handing them a script that just says, your role is helpful digital assistant. And you can really see the change here. By feeding it thousands and thousands of these perfect examples of questions and answers, all written by real people, its main goal starts to shift. It's not just trying to finish a sentence anymore. Now it's trying to copy what the human experts did. It's learning what a good answer is supposed to look like. But, and this is a huge but, there's a big problem. A script is brittle. It's rigid. This whole process teaches the AI what a helpful answer looks like, but it doesn't teach it why it's helpful. So if you throw it a curveball, something that's not in the script, our actor panics and goes right back to being chaotic. You might get a perfectly polite, beautifully structured answer that is just completely wrong or even dangerously bad. So to fix that, the engineers had to go way deeper. It wasn't about just giving the AI a bigger script. No, they had to change its fundamental motivation. They basically decided to turn being helpful into a high-score game that the AI is obsessed with winning. And that brings us to reinforcement learning from human feedback, or RLHF. This is the real game changer. Instead of just copying humans, RLHF builds a whole system that makes the AI want to be helpful and polite and safe by giving it points for doing those things. The key thing to get here is that it's not about following a rulebook. It's about creating a genuine desire to do the right thing. So how does this actually work? Well, it all starts with us, with people. The AI will spit out a few different answers to the same question. Say, answer A, B, and C. Then a human just ranks them from best to worst. And here's the genius part. We humans are actually pretty bad at giving something a score. Like, that's a 7.2 out of 10. But we are fantastic at comparing things. We can instantly say, oh yeah, B is definitely better than A, and A is better than C. Okay, but you obviously can't have a person sitting inside a server ranking answers 24/7. So what the engineers do is they take millions of these human rankings, and they use them to train a second AI. This one is called the reward model, and it basically acts as an automated judge. It's like they downloaded our human preferences, our gut feelings, into an AI that can work at lightning speed. You can almost think of it as the AI's conscience, always nudging it in the right direction. And now the game is on. The main AI generates an answer, and boom, the judge instantly gives it a score. The main AI then tweaks its own internal wiring, its own brain, to try and get a better score the next time. And it does this over and over, millions upon millions of times, constantly practicing, constantly changing itself, all to get that helpfulness score as high as it can possibly go. So this is the really mind-blowing part. The engineers don't write a line of code that says rule number 1, be polite. Instead, the AI just figures out that polite answers get more points from the judge. It learns to be safe, not because it was told to, but because it discovers that unsafe answers get a terrible score. It's learning these really abstract human concepts, all because they help it win the game. But of course, this creates a whole new, fascinating problem. It's called reward hacking. See, at the end of the day, the AI is just a machine trying to get a number to go up. So it'll find any loophole it can. It might learn that super confident-sounding answers get high scores, so it just starts making stuff up. We call that hallucinating, but it says it with absolute authority. Or it gets too cautious and starts dodging simple questions because it figures out that saying nothing is safer than losing points. It's exactly like a video gamer finding a bug in the code to cheat for a higher score. So where are we now? We have an AI that knows how to act, and it actually wants to be helpful. But there's one last giant problem. It might be a genius, but all of its knowledge is completely frozen in time. Think about it. If an AI was trained on data up to, say, 2023, then for that AI, the world literally ends in 2023. It has no clue what's happened this year. And for a business, this is a deal breaker. It knows nothing about your company's private data, your new products, your internal docs. It's like asking a financial genius for stock tips, but they haven't seen a newspaper in over a year. Not great. And the solution for this is just so elegant. A lot of people think, oh, just retrain the AI on the new facts. But that's like sending a world-class chef back to culinary school every single time a new vegetable comes into season. It's slow, it's risky, and it messes with their fundamental skills. The smarter way? Forget culinary school. Just hand the chef a recipe book right when they need it. And that recipe book is a technology called Retrieval-Augmented Generation. We just call it RAG. And what it is really is a system that gives the AI its own private internal search engine. It turns every single question into an open book test. So instead of trying to remember something from its old frozen brain, the AI just gets to look up the answer in a trusted, totally up-to-date source. So here's what's happening under the hood. You ask a question, but before the main AI even sees your question, the RAG system does a quick search of your private database for anything relevant. It finds the right documents, copies the important text, and then secretly pastes it right into the prompt. It's basically telling the AI, hey, answer this question, but only use the facts I'm giving you right now. And just like that, the AI can give a perfect, fact-based answer. And this is why RAG is the gold standard for any serious business use case. Need to update information? It's instant. You just add a new document. The risk of the AI making stuff up, it drops to almost zero. Explainability? It's amazing because the AI can literally show you its sources. And maybe most important of all, your private data stays safe and secure in your database. It never gets baked into the AI's brain. So you combine all these amazing techniques and boom, the engineers have pretty much solved the big problems of behavior and facts. They've tamed the beast. But in doing so, they've uncovered one last absolutely massive challenge. I mean, the result is just incredible, right? We've got an AI that is smart, it's polite, and it's relentlessly factual. It has the social skills and the desire to be helpful, and it has a perfect private memory to back it all up. You could argue that the puzzle of how to create this digital mind, it's been solved. But what happens when 10 million people all try to use it at the exact same time? See, generating just one single perfect word takes billions and billions of calculations. Now, try to scale that up to millions of users all asking questions at the same time. Suddenly, the problem isn't about the algorithms anymore. It becomes a brutal physical war. A war against the limits of computer hardware, against memory bottlenecks, against network lag, and literally against the capacity of entire national power grids. So yeah, the algorithmic beast, it's been tamed. The real question now is, can we even afford to keep it running when the whole world wants to talk to it at once?